Welcome to Closers. I am the DA right here, and as with me always is my main man, James Koulidianos. James, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, buddy. How are you?
Doing good. It's a nice hot day down here in Arizona. It was nice. It was like down in like the 90s, and now it's back. It was 100. God, it's 107 right now. So it's 113 tomorrow, dude. Like JD's football game already got canceled for tomorrow. It's too hot. I assume it's the same thing up there.
Oh yeah, we're at 146 in New York. Nah, it's 70 degrees. It's October. It's time to start getting some leaves falling down, changing seasons. And as much as I want to pretend that I'm excited, I'm really not, because I can't stand this garbage. I just want to move out to Arizona, hang out with you, and play golf.
Well, you're a Mets fan, so October and September always give you like chills. Always just kind of like in the pit of your stomach, you just know something's wrong.
Yeah, so does January around Super Bowl time as a Jets fan. So does June as a Ranger fan. So basically, I have no fun the entire year.
Did you see? So James, I sent James a picture today. Andrea and I, my wife Andrea, we went shooting with our kind of our coach or whatever. Went shooting today. Did you see the picture I sent you of her marksmanship?
Yeah, you didn't see my my response. I was so proud of her, and in fact, now I'm going to mess with her, because since she's such a good shot, she may kill me next time I see her and put me out of my misery.
She's like, dude, I don't think anybody understands. Don't mess with our house. I'll take a gun. I'll miss you. She is not missing anything. It is absolutely ridiculous. Her aim is perfect.
If she was the assassin that tried to kill Trump, Trump would have been dead the way she shoots.
Oh, done without a doubt, and it's absolutely incredible. But there's another man out there with a little bit better accuracy, I would say this, and he's not even getting to really throw it at all. So Ohtani, I know we talk about Ohtani all the time. We love Shohei Ohtani on the show for all the right reasons. Absolutely, and some of the wrong. I think James has some of the wrong reasons why he likes Ohtani, but we love Shohei Ohtani. You saw it, you heard it. We talked about it a lot last week, where Shohei hit his 50 ball. He was in down in Miami. Beautiful night down there, while he had like one of the best nights ever in baseball history. 17 total bases, 3 home runs, 2 stolen bases, 2 doubles, and I'm surprised he didn't close the game out too, when he had just come out for a rehab outing and close the game out. But that ball that you're getting to watch right here, that's his 50th home run ball. That ball itself is causing all the controversy this week. A man by the name of Max Matus. James, have you heard of Max?
I have heard of Max.
Yes, Max. Max is now suing the man who ultimately came up with that ball, and putting an injunction and telling him, no, you are not allowed to put that ball up for auction, because it is my ball. He was on the bottom of that scrum, and he said it was my ball, and Max, this big muscly man, took the ball away from me. James, how do you feel about Max's argument? Do you think there's an argument to be able to say that was his ball?
I think that if my child ever said, hey, I want to sue because the other guy took my baseball, I would tell him, you're a pussy, get into the gym, because you're not supposed to lose that baseball. That's the first thing I would think. Second of all, we all know, if a baseball goes into the stands, last man standing gets the ball. Nobody complained last week when Anthony Rizzo hit a ball into the outfield that some kid missed and another guy grabbed. There's no legal lawsuit every time that happens. So why is it a lawsuit now? Because this kid thinks that maybe he might get a couple of bucks out of it. And I give him all the credit in the world. I'm very litigious. I like lawyers, and I would do the same thing. But I also know that it's complete horseshit.
I'm leaning on your side of this, without a doubt. If you're out there, okay, this is the kind of the rule in the outfield, right? That ball comes to you, it is fair game until you get total control of that ball. If you have full control of that ball, now it's a whole nother story. All I know is that ball went into the bar out there, which used to be, by the way, used to be a full-on enjoyable bar to be sitting in the bullpen, and they had glass. You could see go-go dancers and people with body paint on. I was very distracted. I pitched fine in Miami. I'm very surprised, because I could actually focus once I got onto the field. But warming up was a very bad focus for me. But that ball goes into the bar. It's a scrum. Nobody had it clearly at that point. Dude, game on. Go get that ball. You could jump in the pile at the end. It doesn't even matter. If there's 4 guys on that ball and you want to jump on it, go for it because it's fair game. To me, when you're seeing this and you're seeing this pile, I don't know which one's Max. I assume the kid in the red jersey. I mean, dude, I'm seeing the guy in the gray have the ball like total control. And now if we saw a video where he straight up catches it and he's holding the ball and then somebody jumps him, that's a different argument, right?
Yeah,
completely different argument. But I'm sorry, Max. I'll give it to you for trying, but at the same time, this is everything that's wrong. Unless there's video evidence of you clearly holding that ball, which I have not seen remotely ever once. Like, we've seen the video hundreds of times now. I haven't seen it once where somebody had it clearly until the man at the end steps up with it.
It doesn't really matter though, because the judge has already said, I'm not filing an injunction. The auction is going to go off as planned. It's going to start off at $500K for that ball, and then you can buy it now. So it's funny. They kind of did an eBay thing with Golden Auctions. It's $4.5 million. Buy it now, but the auction starts at $500,000 until it reaches a certain threshold, which I don't know. It's a lot of money for a baseball.
Okay. I'm trying to think about this on the top of my head. Baseballs in history. Mm-hmm. Which ball do you think should get the most money? Which one would you want the most? So there's 2 separate questions. Okay. I'm going to put it out there because you're a Mets fan. Would you rather have the Shohei 50-50 ball, or would you have the ball that landed foul in Johan Santana's no-hitter?
I'd rather have the Ohtani ball. It's worth more.
Take the money out of it. Which one would you rather display?
I'd rather have the Ohtani ball.
Okay. Would you rather have Judge's 63?
Nope, Ohtani ball. Okay. There's only one piece of on-field memorabilia that I would say I would want more. Nope, Ohtani.
Bonds is any of Bonds' home runs,
nope.
Like record breakers, nothing.
Nope. I'll tell you right now. We'll cut to the chase. The only thing that I would rather have off the top of my head would be the baseball bat that Clemens threw at Piazza.
That would be cool.
That
would be neat.
Yeah.
And have Roger sign it. That would be a lot of fun. And if he could, do you think you could get both of them to sign it?
Knowing the people that we know, if I managed to get my hands on that bat, we would call in a lot of favors, but we would make it happen.
No, I'm saying, do you think the players would sign it?
Yes, because we would call in a lot of favors and make it happen. So I know Mike Piazza's agent.
Yes.
So I could probably have it done for the Piazza side.
I got his jersey signed, so I maybe I got a little string there. Do you think if Roger signs it first, I don't know if Piazza would sign it, but I think if Piazza signed it first, Roger would sign it without even Roger being, oh yeah, I'm going to sign this bat.
Well, I mean, Roger's not signing anything with Hall of Fame on it, so he's got the time.
The random anti-Roger Clemens getting in there. But at the end of the day, Max,
speaking of which, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Did you happen to see what happened when Clemens's kid came in relief against the Mets last week?
I did not. Oh, did he give up a grand slam?
He gave up some runs, but they put it on the scoreboard. Clemens' father gave up all these runs to the Mets, and it was awesome. So
yeah, that's
good job. Good job by the Mets.
You're supposed to do it. I love scoreboard operators. There's a couple in the minor leagues that was one of my favorites. One of them was an organist, but he would play songs with everybody's like name. So like, it was Anthony Gwynn was coming up, and every time he came up, he'd play Father of Mine. And then like there was always these little connections, and you'd be sitting there in the bullpen like trying to, what's the song? Okay, now what's the connection? It was hilarious up and down. We went total like left corner here. We've changed everything. Yes,
but we learned right now that David loves watching a man play with his organ.
Yes, and I love a man grabbing balls down in a scrum and showing everybody, stepping out of it and being proud. And that's the one time you can be in a scrub, grab somebody's ball and be proud of it.
Yeah. What I love is I cannot wait till next season of Golden Auctions on Netflix to see how this whole sale went down, because it's going to be the first episode.
Yes, I'm going to say this. How much money is he going to get paid? Right? So 500 minimum, 500 start. 4 or 5, you can buy it now. Where do you think that end point is?
I don't know. I mean, you look back at some of the other balls. McGuire's was about 3, I think. And then Bonds was $1.5 million. That went down. This one, it could go.
The Bartman baseball.
The Bartman baseball. I don't remember how much that one. I'll guess probably about 2.5 is where it's going to end up.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was guessing. I was guessing 2.2, 2.25, something like that. I don't think it's not a 4.5. It's not that. It's an incredible record. I do think it's slightly changed a little bit with the stealing bases stuff, and we'll see. I mean, who knows?
Much are you bidding on?
You never know when people are going to step up, and it might even be a card company, something like that, like a Topps that steps up and buys it and takes the ball and sells it, and sells it in cards and stuff, and raises money that way to make more money than what they even spend on it. You never know what people are going to do with this ball now.
Yeah, that could be interesting. How much are you willing to bid on it? What are you putting down?
Again, nothing. I'll put like $150 and see if I get outbid.
So you're telling me right now, if someone came to you, it's never going to happen, but if they said, David, I got the Ohtani ball, I'll give it to you right now, cash, $250K. Would you do it?
Oh, yes.
You'd be stupid not to.
Yeah, I'd be stupid not to. But again, those arguments only happen if you're talking about not selling it. Right. I can't sit there and have that. Well, then I'm going to turn out. No wonder. That's just an investment. But speaking of investments, segue. That was actually pretty solid.
Not bad.
The Pittsburgh Pirates said, "Screw you, Rowdy Tellez. Even though you sat there and played with us all year, we are not giving you another dime for the rest of the season." The Pittsburgh Pirates are absolutely screwing Rowdy Tellez. Rowdy Tellez was 4 at-bats. Guys, 4 at-bats away from hitting a $200,000 bonus. And the Pittsburgh Pirates said, yeah, thank you, but no thank you. There's only a couple games, 5-6 games left in the season. Out. James, how does that make you feel?
This one upsets me, not as much as another time when it happened to a friend of mine, and not as much as another time when it happened to another friend of mine. Yeah, it happened to you. It also happened to another friend of mine who played professional hockey for the Rangers. So this happens all the time. It's deplorable, but I can also understand from the Pirates' point of view. They're just like, okay, if I can save $200,000, we're not going anywhere. Let me see if this can, slide through. It's not going to slide through. Players Association, I'm sure, has already filed a grievance. He's going to get his money. I highly doubt he's not going to get it. But if for some reason it doesn't go through, hey, the Pirates saved $200,000. Good for them. They screwed the system.
They're not going to save $200,000. And here's the problem. And there's no good for them. This is all negative. There's not one positive coming out of this. Saving $200,000 is so little money when you compare it to the damage they've done to their organization. This argument right here doesn't even take into factor whether Rowdy Tellez deserved the money. Okay. The idea though, with 6 games left in your season, designating somebody for assignment, which is basically releasing them, screwing them at the end of the season like this, puts such a black eye in your organization. So if I'm a free agent, why am I ever going to think about coming to the Pirates right now? Why would I sit there and say, hey, if I'm a good, not fringe, but I'm a good player and I'm going to play, I'm not great, but I'm a good player and I can make some good money, why would I consider the Pirates unless it was my only offer? I'm definitely not going to consider any incentives. No incentive based. You're going to give me my money straight up. So when I look at this and think Rowdy Tellez, he's batting 243, almost 700 OPS. He's got 18 doubles, 13 home runs, which again aren't crazy great numbers, but they're good for Rowdy Tellez, right? But they're better than last year, and they're better than the year before that. And that's the thing, is like he's had years where these are really good numbers for his season. Like 2019, this would be comparable, if not better, in many of them. And last year in Milwaukee, on a good Milwaukee team, this is better numbers than they signed him. That's why I don't get. These are better numbers than what you signed him and what you were expecting. That's where everyone across the league is going to go, screw you, Pittsburgh. Like, absolutely screw you. There was no reason to be able to do it. They're going to end up paying the money anyways. There's no doubt. The MLBPA is going to absolutely tear them over the coals on this. When it happened to me, they at least, the Atlanta Braves had an argument that I should have been released. They had an argument. It was right before August or September 1st. I had a couple outings. I didn't pitch all that well. I'd since pitched better, but I had $200,000 come to me and a couple different bonuses I was going to hit. But they ate the $100,000 left of my contract and then didn't pay me the $200,000. So they ended up netting $100,000. I didn't like it. I didn't agree with it, but I pitched just bad enough so I could get released. That problem though with Rowdy, he is actually playing good enough to stay.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
That was a long time. I was talking a lot.
It's okay, buddy. We still love you. But it happens all the time in professional sports. Like I said, I used to be pretty close with the former goalie for the New York Rangers, a kid named Dan Blackburn. And his first year, he needed one more start. Or actually, I think it was one more period of hockey play. And they didn't put him in for the last 6 games. And he was a starter. Something like that. It's been a while, but they didn't put him in for the rest of the season to save $1 million bonus.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And that's a problem. And that's when you sit there and see, like, again, I don't know what the NHL's player association, how strong it is. I doubt it's all that great. But if you're sitting there and you're that close, and if they could make an argument, he played on average every other game, something like that. Yeah. Like, you could get there and say, this is, now it's unreasonable. And you had a couple games. The problem is they probably had a bunch of games where it was like a 1-score game and they could justify it, right? But that is absolutely ridiculous. And I'll say this, like, I love Ben Cherington. I love what he has done in Pittsburgh. I think they're going in the right direction. I think they're building a team from within, and they're making it better. They got some of the best young pitchers in baseball. They got one of the best young position players in baseball, O'Neal Cruz. I mean, it is incredible what they're building there. Why? Like, how much did Ben Cherington even have in this discussion, right? Does it come straight from the owner, or is it Ben Cherington? Because I don't think Ben Cherington's dumb enough to do this on his own. I think he knows not to do this. So I sit there and say, who else sat back and told him, no, dude, I don't care. We're saving the money. Because I don't think Ben Cherington would put a black eye. He's been around the game too much and too many high leverage roles with the Red Sox, who did it really, really well when he was there, when he was an assistant GM and then GM. And when he came to the Blue Jays, when I worked with him as the president of baseball operations, I think that was his title, something like that. Vice president of baseball, who knows? But he's too smart of a man to do this without knowing the ramifications. He sees the game. He sees it 2 steps ahead. So I don't think this is on Ben's.
I'm not sure. I don't know Ben Cherington. I can't tell you. I've never spoken to the man. But if it was my job, I'll see what I can get away with. At the end of the day, $200,000 is $200,000. And when you're the Pirates, it's a lot of money.
It's not, though. It's not when you look at the impact, man. And I'll have to disagree with you on this. Go for run your organization how you want to run your organization, but this sends a shockwave across the league. Shockwave. Like, it's a bullet. It's a giant missile across the bow of every single free agent player that's ever even going to consider going to Pittsburgh, and it's going to cost them more money because everyone's going to require guaranteed contracts and not incentive based.
I don't think so. Personally, I think the players right now that would go to Pittsburgh as a free agent aren't the type of guys that are going to get major offers anywhere else. The Pirates right now aren't in a position where they can go out there and go after the big fish. They're still going at the little fish, and the little fish
why do you say that?
Because they're not close to being a winner yet.
What are you talking about?
Maybe after next year.
What are you talking about? Have you not seen them the last 2 years?
I don't think they're ready to take that leap where maybe they can sneak into a wild card next year, maybe, but they are not a World Series contender next year.
You would need to add, again, the only thing they're missing is a couple big free agents. And they're not going to go for they're not going for the Judges, the Sotos, the Ohtanis of the world. No one else but a select couple teams are. But dude, they are a couple players. I'm pulling up their roster right now. That pitching staff easily will be one of the best pitching staffs in all of baseball next year. They're only 9 games below 500 right now in a division that's very winnable. And you see what happened to the AL Central. Easily a couple bats away. Like Brian Reynolds is going to be there forever. O'Neal Cruz is going to be there forever. And then you get a couple, like Brian De La Cruz is pretty dang good. You get a couple guys in there that can swing the bat. Like right, IKF had a pretty good year there, and their rotation is arguably the best rotation in baseball. Like they're right now borderline great.
No, I disagree, and you're entitled to your opinion. It happens to be wrong, but I mean, you're entitled to it. Are the Pittsburgh Pirates the type of team that can go out and approach Vladimir Guerrero Jr.?
No, but again,
but you're saying they're a couple. You're saying they're a couple of bats away. We're not even talking about Juan Soto. We're talking about
pump the brakes on saying Vladdy Guerrero's not going to get a lot of money. Vladdy Guerrero's going to be like maybe the second highest paid player this offseason.
Is he going to get? Is he getting $500 million?
He's going to get 400.
You think he's going to get 400 million? Vlad Guerrero.
Have you not seen his numbers?
Oh, no chance.
Ooh, no chance. Dude.
There's a bet brewing right now. We're going to have to figure out something because there's no way he's getting 400 million.
Now this is live because he is going to be above 300.
That's not what I said. I said, is he getting 400?
I say he's going to be a lot closer to 400. I'll say this. He's going to be a lot closer to 400 than he is away.
Okay, so let's set the over-under at 325 million. Is he going over or under? Over? I'll take the under.
Okay. Dude, right here, we'll shake and we'll figure out the bet.
All right. Fair enough.
Right. Figure out the bet later. But a man that does no problem taking money, Brett Favre of the Packers. Who else did he play for? He played for Jets.
And the Minnesota Vikings.
That was very memorable. Brett Favre is getting into some trouble this week. It is. I'm going to say it straight up. It's this play. That's the play. I love it. That's the. That was
his first pass, by the way. He
was
threw
it really?
His first pass was a completion to himself. Yes.
Wow. That's actually really cool. I did not know that. Was not aware of your ability there, Brett. That's your first pass. Anyways, Brett Favre. I ever since there's something about Mary, I can't stop saying that. But Brett Favre, one of the greatest quarterbacks, one of the greatest football players of all time, outside of when he plays the Broncos. He got in a little trouble. It's really complicated. To try to sum it up a little bit, we're going to go with this. The state of Mississippi was allocating funds to low income people who need the money. Some of those funds got shifted to Brett. Some of those funds got shifted to the school Brett went to, and his daughter currently goes to University of Southern Mississippi, right?
Yep.
And they built a volleyball center with the money that was supposed to be going to low-income families and low-income housing, stuff like that. He's kind of caught right in the middle of it. But Brett threw a Hail Mary. And while he is a defendant in a case, it's not going to go to jail. He's not going to go to jail or anything, right? It's a
civil case. It's not criminal. Case.
And he threw a Hail Mary right in the middle of it and dropped I got diagnosed with Parkinson's. Do you think that? Okay, I feel bad for Brad. I don't want anybody to have Parkinson's. I have a neighbor that has Parkinson's, and it's so tough to watch him be a normal, incredible human being, and to see what he's become is so tough. So tough, and I have to go over there every now and then and help and pick him up and stuff like that. I hope that never happens to anybody else in this world. But do you think he did that just as a distraction? Do you think he announced it as a distraction to take away from the heat that's going on him?
Of course he did. Are you kidding? He's going to announce to the whole world that he's got Parkinson's when he's a defendant in a case like that? That's the greatest, please don't put me in jail. I'm sick. And obviously you can't go to jail, but please don't look bad at me. I'm sick. And Parkinson's causes dementia. And that's why I send dick pics to Jen Sturger. And I'm just a giant mess.
Jen
Screw
Sturger.
you, Brett Favre.
Speaking of Jen Sturger, how's she doing?
I haven't spoken to her in forever. Full disclosure, I don't like Brett Favre for many reasons. The first being he screwed my Jets. He was 8-3. He hit an injury. We didn't go to the playoffs. Then I was very friendly at the time with Jen Sturger, and he decided that he was going to sexually harass her, and I wasn't happy about that. Jen, if you're watching, I love you. We haven't spoken in too long. Hope you're doing well. And I'm not a fan of Brett Favre. He's a douche.
Well, we haven't talked about Jen Sturger enough. I am a big fan of Jen Sturger. Anyways, but Brett...
and by the way, the sweetest girl on the planet. She couldn't be a nicer human being.
Yes. That you've never said anything besides that she's incredible, but Brett definitely doesn't deserve just random dick pics. I don't like announcing things like this when you're in another problem. And the thing about it is it's what makes it so tough is once they bring this allegations up, and once you're in there and you're in the civil trial, I think you said there's 47 or 48 other people, or he's one of 47 or whatever people in the civil case that took money. It doesn't look good for this state of Mississippi. It's like they're targeting people, but it's the state of Mississippi. Why are you giving the money to people? But once these allegations come up, and once you're in this lawsuit, you can't go back and announce that you have Parkinson's, because no matter what, it's going to be pulling it. It's like a distraction. Oh, like don't mind what I did. I got Parkinson's. That's the hard part about all this. Is like these are two totally separate things that we need to be dealing with. The Parkinson's is one. And what he did with taking the money, he by the way, he signed up for this charity, and he was supposed to do some appearances and do some commercials and voiceover stuff on radio and stuff, and he didn't do it. He ended up giving some of the money back, but it took him a long time, so there's a lot of fines. There's like $730,000 in fines. He took like $1.1 million, and I'm sure the volleyball stuff to build a brand new volleyball like center that his daughter just happens to be in, I'm sure that had nothing to do with all this either. These are two separate issues. But you can't just throw them together. You can't just smash them together, because I want to feel bad for you, man. I want to talk to you about that. Like, I want to hear from you. I want to hear your voice about what you're going through and what the Parkinson's like. How does that affect you? Because it affects millions of people. But when you're in the middle of a trial, then you just stole a bunch of money. You're just distracting, and you're just taking away from like the real issue here is that you took money that you didn't do anything for, and then you obviously has probably something to do with getting more money out of the state. And so to me, I sit there like, once this happens, you can't announce it for like a year or 2 years. You just got to sit back on it and say, I can't tell anybody.
I hope that he reaches out to Michael J. Fox and says, I want to be involved in your foundation. And Michael J. Fox says, fuck you, I'm a Jet fan, get lost.
Oh, I'm a Michael J. Fox fan. It's just so tough to watch somebody go through it. It's so tough. So I wish Brett Favre the absolute very best in his life, and that the Parkinson's, that it doesn't become a big issue, and then he's able to get through it. At the same time, don't take money from the state, man. Don't take money from this. Just do the damn commercial. Show up and speak at your events and just earn that money like you did. $1.1 million. Like, man, that's a lot of money. Just go and show up. Just show up at the event. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah. I mean, how hard is it to talk? You give me $1.1 million, I'll talk every minute for a year.
Oh God, we'll never get them to stop. But on that note, this is the end of the episode. So make sure you go out there. Make sure you send the likes. Make sure you hit comments and you throw a little comment out there. Tell James why his hair looks so bad. It's
what?
Fact. It's fact.
My hair looks bad? It's the only thing I have going for me. Don't say that. Now I'm going to have a complex the rest of the day.
But go on there, leave some likes, and you know how the algorithms work. You guys all know this. The more likes, the more the YouTube and everybody sends our stuff out there. And make sure, if you don't want to just watch our pretty faces and you want to hear our wonderful voices with your eyes closed, or while you're driving the car, or while the kids are screaming in the back, you just want to play something that drowns them all out. Go to any podcast.
Please do not close your eyes and listen while you're driving.
Well, not while you're driving, don't do it. But you can still go. Like, you can be in your room and you're in your house and close your eyes and just listen to our soothing voices.
What is it, like one of those videos you put on YouTube before you go to bed? The ASMR, where you just soothing sounds to go to bed, starring David Artsma.
I've never done those. I've heard those are pretty cool. At the same time, though, I do have a. It's like ocean wave stuff. You want to know the best? Here's the best. So I play the ocean waves. It's a gentle ocean waves, and you can kind of hear a little breeze. Like, you kind of hear the waves and like the palm trees. And then I go get in my raft, and I'm playing it on my speakers out by the pool, just a little bit. And then you are done. There's no chance that you're awake in 10 minutes.
These are rich people problems right there.
I'm not saying they're not. At the same time, it's really nice. But go on anywhere you want to find a podcast. Go there. We are there. Go on to YouTube again. Send the likes and comments. Do all that. Tell all your friends. Tell your mom. Tell your kids to listen in. And thank you for tuning in.
Bye bye, everybody.